This is Carolina Haints. Carolina Haints presents Folk, a show about our stories. I'm your host, Dan Sellers. There's a quiet corner of Fayetteville, North Carolina, where the past still lingers on the breeze. 3 historic homes stand together there on Heritage Square, elegant survivors from another century. The most famous of them is Sanford House, a colonial-style home built around 1800. The house has survived a lot over the years, including Sherman's March to the Sea, in which the Sanford House was used as General Sherman's barracks in March of 1865. But that's not what we're talking about today. You see, folks in Fayetteville know all too well that the beautiful and historic Sanford House is haunted. And it's not just any old run-of-the-mill spook. It's haunted by the most mournful of spirits. They call her the Lady in Black. For generations, visitors and caretakers have spoken of the woman who appears on the grand staircase, dressed head to toe in black. Not Victorian finery, but the somber garments of mourning. She's seen in profile, usually in the early evening, when last light of day filters through the parlor windows. She never speaks. She just stands there, silent and still, before fading away like a memory too heavy to carry. No one really knows who she is. Some say she was a widow of a Confederate officer who lived here during the Civil War, a woman who waited for news that never came. Others believe she was a housekeeper, keeping watch long after her death. A few say she's several spirits woven into one, a composite of loss that's soaked into the walls of this old home. My favorite version is of the young woman who lived in the Sanford House at the time of the war, who fell in love with a Confederate soldier when word spread of the Battle of Monroe's Crossroads, where Fort Bragg sits today. Her soldier felt compelled to join the fight. He promised his beloved he would come back to her at the end of the battle and to wait for him. So, of course, she waited and waited, and some say continues to wait even now. Another legend has it that the Lady in Black mourns her sweetheart who was murdered in the house years before the Civil War. You see, back in the 1820s, the house served as the first federal bank in the state, and there was even a vault in the basement. Part of the legend was that the body was hidden in the vault, and that the infamous ghostly lady is in search of her betrothed. Over the years, the Sanford House has served as a private residence, a school for young ladies, a boarding house, and even the headquarters for the Fayetteville Women's Club, which still maintains the property today. Staff members have reported cold spots, music boxes playing on their own, and soft sobbing coming from empty rooms. One particularly chilling story tells of a club member who was alone after an event, locking up for the night. As she turned off the last light and stepped into the hall, she heard the slow rustle of fabric behind her, the unmistakable sound of someone descending the stairs. When she turned around, she saw the Lady in Black standing there in the landing, head bowed, hands clasped in grief. The woman froze, and then the figure simply vanished, leaving nothing but the faint scent of lilac perfume hanging in the air. In Fayetteville, they say the Lady in Black still walks the stairs, keeping vigil for a love lost long ago. Whether she's the ghost of one woman or a collection of many who once knew sorrow within those walls. The Sanford House remains a place where history and heartbreak live side by side. This episode was brought to you by Wreak Havoc Productions and Carolina Haints Incorporated, a nonprofit organization dedicated to preserving and promoting folklore storytelling throughout the Carolinas. You can find everything we're up to, including our books, podcast episodes, and appearances at carolinahaints.com. We'll be back next week with a new episode. Tune in to keep the folklore tradition of oral storytelling alive.